Hey guys, it's Ghosty. Now this is a tutorial that I haven't actually seen done before, so let's see if I can put my hat in the game, show you what I can do. So I sort of just was looking at this texture that I made for just a little study that I did. I was wondering, this is how it looks with polar coordinates, but I turned it off and thought this could be a pretty cool trail. So I'm going to show you guys how you can use After Effects to make a trail effect, or maybe even a beam effect, any kind of sort of tiling texture. But for this one I'm going to focus on making a kind of sword slash maybe. So we're going to save this and just make a new comp. Hopefully I'm louder in this video. Last one I was, for some reason I was just really quiet. I think my OBS was set to like -10 decibels from a microphone, so hopefully you guys can hear me better. If not, that'll suck. But yeah, what we're gonna do first is we're gonna make a solid layer. So what that is gonna do is just make like a big thing, and we're gonna want to define a shape. We're gonna mask it, so I like to use a square and just make it cover up this kind of area. This is pretty good, and make sure it extends outwards like this as well on the horizontal. So first we're going to add turbulent display. So this is probably one of the best effects you can have as a as someone using After Effects to make textures. So this just warps the texture really crazy. Even this could be like a nice, nice cool little watery kind of trail, but obviously we're going for a sword slash. So we're going to change this from turbulent to vertical displacement. What this will do, it'll make like a little, you can already see how it's coming together. It'll displace it vertically. You can make it bigger, smaller. I'm going to make it, we're going to try make it a little cartoony maybe. I don't know. I'll see how I feel when this goes, but yeah, if you want to change how thick it is, we can just change the expansion to make it a little smaller. I think this kind of thing will look pretty cool. So we'll have one big main layer, so we'll do this as the main layer. We'll bring this position a little bit up and make the expansion like that. Now on its own it looks a little rough, of course, and we're gonna fix this by just adding another turbulent in this place. So we'll do that. Make it, we'll see how it looks with just turbulent. So that'll add some noise to it, which we don't really want, but this is already looking pretty cool. like After Effects is just so cool to toy around with. It's just such a nice tool. We're gonna try to do this all in one solid. Hopefully it'll be pretty cool if we can, but if not, then we can just duplicate, make more layers. But I'm kind of just spitballing right now, kind of just see what I can do with this. I don't really have an idea in my head, just trying to see where this will go. So we'll make this one vertical as well, make that more of a noisy pattern, I suppose. That's pretty cool. Now another good thing for trails is wave warp. This is a very cool modifier. We'll add this, and what this will do is it'll pretty much add waves to it, as it implies in the name. So this will really help in making that kind of sword slash look. So we're going to change this from sine to smooth noise, and we're going to want to up the width by a lot. We're going to make it very tall, very high. Now what this will do is it'll make some points go a little too high. So what we're going to try to do is try to make it too high. Try to find like a good in between where the texture doesn't really clip outwards. Let's see what we can do. And I want to get the tip of the slash really sharp like that. We can maybe do that by just sort of adjusting the mask to add more. Let me just make it bigger over here. We'll try that. Ooh. Hold on. I'll see if I can make this work, but looking a little funky right now. Maybe not that. Let me try to rotate it. No, let's rotate the whole thing on it. Yeah. So as I've said before in the last video, it's all a lot of trial and error. So forgive me if I'm just kind of spitballing and doing whatever, but that is pretty much how development goes. So we'll just keep. Ooh, I do like this. This is really cool. Yeah. Okay. We'll stick with this for now. And we'll add another effect. This will be roughen edges, so we'll see how this looks. This will pretty much, as it implies, roughen the edges. But since it's on the highest layer, it's going to be affected by all of this stuff that we've got on. So I'll move it one layer lower. Still affected. One layer lower. Still affected. So I think... Ooh, that's not good. We'll try spiky, make the border pretty small. Scale pretty... No, okay, we need to... I'll just put it above. Okay, yeah. I'm still learning After Effects, guys. Sorry if I'm just, you know. I'm always learning too. There we go. That's what I was looking for. We'll get like a kind of wavy looking effect. And one thing that'll really help sell this effect is by adding a feather. So once we do this, you can already kind of see how it's shaping a nice trail effect. This is perfect for a sword slash or a projectile. Let's adjust this a little more. Yeah, this is pretty cool looking so far. Let's keep adjusting this, I suppose. We'll go something kind of simple looking. Nothing too like, this would be crazy. This something like this. This looks pretty cool. We'll lower this a bit. Yeah, so we can get those little those peaks over there, just so they're in the texture. We can make it more complex to add more to it, but honestly I think I do like 2 complexity. Let's see how 3 looks. That's pretty cool as well, but I think it kind of overcomplicates it. We'll stick with that for now. Let's see if I can think of anything else to put in here, because honestly I think it's looking pretty good already, but let's see what else I can think of. We should add a more subtle, sort of transparent look for it. So we're going to duplicate this layer. I know I said we'd only be doing 1, but I think this will help make the effect look a lot better. We will delete roughen edges. Ooh, I really like how that looks. That's really cool. Okay, we'll expand this mask a bit. As you can see, it kind of clips at the top there, so we're going to try to move this upwards. Position that upwards. We're just going to expand this by a lot. And we're going to make the opacity... I think that's a little too crazy, I think. Let's bring this down. Let's bring the opacity up and bring this down overall. I think I've got a little bit too lost in the sauce. We're going to make this blur layer a lot more intense on the slash parts. We're gonna increase the turban displace on everything. Do something like that. Make it look like a glow effect almost. Make the wave height more like that. That's looking pretty good. After Effects is kind of weird. You can see it kind of clips at top here, and I'm not really sure what to do against that. If any of you guys know why that happens, then do let me know in the comments, because I'm a little lost. I've been having this issue for a while, but we'll just move this up for now, I guess. And this is already looking like a pretty cool sword texture, but let's try to improve on it a bit more. I'll try to teach you guys everything I know, everything that'll kind of spice this kind of effect up. I'm trying to think. Sorry, guys. We'll try a vector blur. Vector blurs are pretty cool. I say that a lot, I know, but After Effects is a very, very cool program. It adds this sort of like distorting glass effect to it. I don't know how to explain it, but it just looks really, really cool. If you go negative, it does this, which is kind of hard to think about how this would be used in a VFX texture, but it just looks really cool. But I think maybe something subtle like that, where it's enhancing that kind of glow effect while also adding some of this little sort of semi-transparency over there. We'll see how this looks with that. Let's see, compare how it looks with and without. It does take away from that sharpness, so I think I'll bring it down by a tiny bit. Teensy bit. That's pretty cool. What else could I add to this? Maybe like just like a subtle, we'll add another solid, but this time it'll be a new one. Yeah. And we will make the mask sort of like here. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now we're gonna make the, hold on, I need to make this a lot wider. Sorry. Unlink that and make it very wide. That's perfect. And we'll make the feather. So we'll do that. Move this up. Opacity down a little bit, and we'll expand this. See how this looks. Maybe if I decrease the opacity a little bit more. Sorry if I'm getting quiet. I'm just trying to lean back. Nah, because when this gets imported into Roblox, if I change the brightness, it'll really make it look kind of messy, make it look very blurry. So, I think that's about as good as we'll get for this. Yeah. So for a trail, all you really need is pretty much turbulent displace, wave warp, and roughen edges. Roughen edges will always help. It's not necessary, but it's pretty good. I'm gonna try spice it up a little more. If I can't, then you know it is what it is. We're gonna make a sort of bigger arc, not arc, but just a more prominent slash, I suppose. So we'll expand it by quite a lot. See, I don't know why it clips off like that. Maybe it's the wave warp that's doing that. It's even everything, I think. It's turbulent displace. That's kind of weird. I don't know why it does that. The feather should still be applying, but maybe if I just turn this feather off and just add like a blur layer to it, maybe that'll help it. We'll try directional blur. This is always pretty good. Oh, where's that going? That is not what I want. Maybe if I put it on the lowest layer. Directional blur. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. That's okay. I like this so far. Yeah, this is looking a lot better. It doesn't clip, which is nice. We'll make this a little bit less opaque, and we'll expand this by a lot. And we'll enable this one again. Honestly, this is looking really, really cool. I might move this little sharper layer a little higher just so it gets more focus. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think this is pretty good. I think this is done. Sorry, I keep saying it's done, but I just want to add one more thing. Maybe just try to make it more varied in how the little outer trail looks. Maybe change the evolution of it, which will just change how it's generated. I think I don't really know how it works, but I just know how it's applied. There's a little blank spot there, which is on my nerves. Let me try to find a nice evolution that doesn't have that. Yeah, I think this is a good in between because even this part's a little blank. So once this is done, we could export it here, but I do want to add a little arc to it. So we're gonna pre-comp all these layers. So hold down Shift, click, then press pre-compose. Now name it whatever you want. I'm gonna name it Trail because that's what it is. Now what that's gonna do is it's almost gonna compress all these layers into one. You can click on this and still edit this, but here you can freely transform it. It won't have any effects on it. It'll just be a lot easier to work with. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna try something that I haven't really used all too much, which is mesh warp. So what this will let me do is this will let me sort of distort how the texture is, pretty much how it looks. So I'm gonna try to just make this part sharper, I guess. Bear with me, I have not really used this tool before, so this is mostly new to me. I have used it before, but definitely not in this kind of application. But I don't think it should be too hard. It's kind of just creating an arc effect. We're gonna move this up a little bit. I think you can hold down Shift to make it more precise, but I'm not really sure actually. So bring that up, and we'll bring this middle one up so it'll be, oops, that's not what I want to do. We'll try to rotate this so it's more of a smoother curve. It does clip over there, which is irritating me, so let me adjust that, sorry. Mesh warp, we'll bring this up a little bit. Is that what I want to bring up? Nope. After Effects is really weird with how these things work sometimes. It's just a little bit of a pain in the ass, so bear with me, sorry. Okay, move that one. That one just scales up. Sorry, this is new to me. Let me just start from scratch, sorry. I'll try that again. There might be another warp thing, so I remember seeing this in one of, I think, Pleb's tutorials. He does really great ones, so definitely check his ones out. His is a lot more concise than me because he's a lot better at After Effects than I am. So top left vertex, this will be okay. I can work with this. I can work with this. So we're gonna target the bottom right. So we're going to bring this down, and the bottom left is gonna, the bottom left vertex, yes, that, we're gonna bring that up. And I think we should bring down the, that one as well. Yeah, there we go. We'll just keep bringing this up. And bottom right, we'll just expand that a bit further. I think we can literally just drag it. Yeah, this is a lot easier. We'll just drag it. What we want to do is create like a little arc. An arc that'll look pretty cool when you're slashing a sword. We'll create some motion to it. It'll make the animation more believable. We're gonna move this one down a little bit more because I don't think it's exaggerated enough. That's a little too much actually. Whoops. I think we need to move this one down as well. No, top right. Maybe? Ah, there we go. I think that's it. So from going from this, which is still a pretty nice trail, to this where it's a lot more exaggerated, it's more curved. I think this will look a lot better in studio, but I will import both of them just to see how they look, because this is obviously an experiment for me. I'm seeing how this looks, and it does clip there, which I do not like. We will, is that caused by the Bezier warp? It is. Where would that be from? Probably one of these ones. Yeah, there we go. Just cover that up. No, it's this one actually. I found you. Right top vertex? No, right top tangent. There we go. Make that 1024. That should fill in the gap. Yep. Okay. Will this clip in studio? I hope not, but only one way to find out. So I'm gonna export these. You want to do that by pressing File, Export, Add to Render Queue. Make this PNG sequence. Make sure it's RGB plus alpha. Okay. Now we'll export it to wherever. I'm gonna put it in the JJK folder because I probably renamed this tutorial folder. We'll do trail and save. Then press render. Now let me render the other one without the Bezier warp. You can already see the difference there. It's a lot more exaggerated, as I like to say. Yeah, we'll do both anyway. Same process. Here you can actually just press Ctrl D to duplicate the same comp settings, which is really nice. We'll export in the same location, but I'll make a new folder called No Bezier. Yeah, so we'll do that. Save, render. and I'll get back to you guys once I've imported them in Studio. I'll actually show you how to import them, so just let me open Studio real quick. Okay, now we're here. Let's just get a random sword from the toolbox. Let's get the funny linked sword, because that's retro. Here we go. This is sword by Roblox. Nope, not in the starter pack. Please don't tell me the mesh is like that. Why is it rotated? Okay, perfect. So we're gonna get the sword. We're going to rotate this, and yeah, we've got this looking pretty good. But just for ease of showing you guys how the slash will look, when I rotate it, it'll rotate from that axis point, which is not good for showcasing the slash. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move this point down. So we're gonna do that by scrolling down here and changing the pivot offset to a -3. Definitely not that axis, hold on. Yeah, so for me it's the z-axis. It'll be different for you guys maybe. Just, it's trial and error, but try the z-axis first, maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, once you can see that it'll actually spin around the axis point, which will make it a lot easier to showcase the slash. So make it a bit higher, make the arc a bit wider, and I think if I do trail preview it should, nope, okay. Whoops, okay. We'll add an attachment. We'll do the first one down at the base of the sword. Change the move just to a little smaller. We'll do that over there. And we'll duplicate this. We'll call this one T1. We'll move this one all the way to the top. We'll call this one T1.1. And we'll add a trail to it. So we're going to make the attachment point the 0, the bottom one, and the 1, the top one. And let's just see if this works. Hopefully, there we go. Now let's make this a lot shorter of a lifespan. We'll make the around 0.15. This is a pretty good range for slashes. It depends on how snappy you want it to look. You can do even shorter, like 0.05 will look really nice as well. It just depends on how good your texture is. So yeah, I'm liking how that looks so far. And let's import the textures now. So let me adjust some of these settings actually. Let me try trail preview to see how this looks again. Yeah, it's not how a sword slide. Let me change the radius. Hold on. It's using VFX Suite, which is a really great plugin. You guys should definitely use it. 25. Nope. Trail preview speed 5. There we go. It makes it really easy to preview trails and stuff. It's easy to show to your commissioners. It's easy just to see how it looks in motion, and very helpful plugin. I know that there's a better one. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, VFX Forge. I've tried it, but honestly I just prefer VFX Suite. The UI is still cluttered, but it's a lot less in my eyes. But yeah, let me not ramble too much. Let's add these trails. So we'll do the no Bezier one first, just to see how that looks. Sorry if this is hard to track. It's pretty hard for me to track as well. So yeah, as you can see, that looks pretty nice already. Make that a little sharper. You can definitely change the colors as well. Yeah, this is pretty cool. What I like to do for trails is adjust the transparency by a lot. So we'll have it start very opaque. Then towards the end of the lifespan, you can make it just shift off really harshly. This is really nice for making like a wind kind of effect, or just any kind of effect really. I'm just gonna try and make like a basic, sword slash wind effect. So we'll see how this looks just when I rotate like this. Hard to see, I know, but I think it looks pretty good. And since the texture is made by you, you can always adjust it in After Effects if you don't like it, or if you want to adjust it even more, feel free to. Let's try how it looks with the Bezier that I tried. So keep in mind, this may look like shit. This may look like complete dog ass, so, we will see. But that is part of the process, making stuff. If it looks bad, then you know how to improve on next time, just what to do better. And honestly, it's not too bad. It's very similar to the first one, obviously, but you can see that subtle, let me screenshot it to point it out. You can see that subtle arc that it creates, and it makes it look a lot more dynamic, which is pretty cool. nice little effect that you can add to your slashes. When I rotate it here, it'll probably be easier to see. Yeah, I'll try to screenshot the good moment. Yeah, here you can just see the arc is a lot more dynamic. It looks a lot more like a sword slashing, because obviously this part of the sword wouldn't have much motion compared to the top part. So yeah, it's a really nice effect. It's really easy to add as well. Yeah, I'll try to get a better screenshot. Oops. Yeah, you can definitely see it here a lot clearer. You can see that the top part is a lot more longer while the bottom part cuts off there. Sorry for just going in depth on it so much. I just want to let you guys know. But yeah, that is how you make trails in After Effects. I know it seems daunting at first. After Effects is a very methodical process. It's a lot of trial and error, getting stuff that looks like shit, but you just keep doing it until it looks better. You just gotta stay dedicated to it, really. And yeah, I hope this helps. I hope you're able to make some cool effects. And yeah, if this helped out, then leave a comment. Let me know if you liked it, if I should do more of these kind of tutorials. Let me know what kind of stuff you want to learn, because maybe some of the stuff that you don't know, maybe I don't know, and I want to learn how to do it too, and I want to show you guys how you can do it as well. So yeah, if you did enjoy this, let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope this works for you. Yeah.